The King, we've been talking about it already this morning, haven't we, is due to speak at the COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai this morning, and he'll say we're at a critical turning point to save the environment. But is what we eat part of the solution?
Well, journalist and presenter Ade Adepitan argues that there's one food in particular that is so bad for the environment that eating it should be thought of as the new smoking.
I bet you were popular. Just having a little bit of lunch. A good job they were laughing. It could have turned ugly.
As if I need a megaphone.
Yeah,
exactly.
Had the producers met you, I think? So, look, let's talk about... I mean, the point is you've gone out there and you want to make an impact, you want to make a statement, but talk us through the idea of what the suggestion of banning beef might mean, or the implication of that to the environment.
Well, when I was trying to search for something that I as an individual and people as individuals could do to have a massive impact on the climate, on the planet. And you look at beef, and beef has... The production of beef has a huge impact. It's 7 times more damaging to the environment than eating chicken. It produces huge amounts of CO2, and this comes from the production. We all know about the cows farting and burping produces methane, which is 28 times more damaging to the planet than CO2. But it's the deforestation as well of land in order to create land for the farms. I think an area the size of London is chopped down in the Amazon every year for beef farming.
And is that to house the cows, or is it the production of what they eat as well?
All of that together, and all of that is producing huge amounts of tons of CO2 and causing the global warming. And the thing is, so many people feel disconnected from the climate crisis because it's so big, you know, and it's sometimes a lot of it's happening so far away. And I was thinking, what is something that we as individuals can do? How can we empower each other? And one of the ways is beef. Beef has a huge impact. If we cut it out of our diet or cut it down, we could have a massive
I mean, a number of farmers, I mean, look at these beautiful cows, but a number of farmers, and British farming is a hugely important industry. I've got friends that are beef farmers, and they will say sustainably resourced beef that is looked after is really beneficial to the environment they're on. And actually what we should be doing, rather than saying ban beef, it should be just a lot more sort of concerned about where we're getting our beef from. If we go into properly sustainable producers, then actually it's a sort of a two-way thing. I think the beef industry to the UK is worth 10 billion, isn't it?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Regenerative farming, which we do here in the UK, is much more sustainable than around the world. But compared to what's happening in the US and other countries, that's still a problem. And also, you've still got the emissions. The methane emissions from the cows is still causing a problem.
Look at those cows over
your
shoulder. They're beautiful
I'm
bees.
not talking about exterminating Bessie. You know, I'm not talking about taking the cows.
But you sort of are.
Well,
because we wouldn't need the number of cows if we didn't consume the amount of beef. And the methane they produce, is it really as damaging as big business and all the other things that are going on around the world? Can people really accept that?
Well, cows are big business.
Yeah.
They are big business. It's the beef industry is 3% of the GDP of the USA, and that is the equivalent of the whole GDP of Spain. It's massive. It's a massive multi-billion-dollar industry, so you can't separate business away from cows. And you're talking about them like they're lovely and beautiful, but the end process for most of them is they end up on people's plates. Something that's lovely and beautiful shouldn't be on someone's plates. I mean, I'm not saying people shouldn't... I'm not talking about people's choices of whether they eat them or not. I'm talking about giving them the knowledge as to what damage it does.
And you're right. We always want to know what we can do as a little small individual in this crisis, and you're giving them the chance to have something that is empowering.
Well, for me, my son's nearly 3 years old, and I look at him and I think, you know, as a father, what can I do to make his life easier?
Does he like beef?
He doesn't, actually. He doesn't eat much meat at all, actually. And, you know, I'm thinking, this is for his future. This is our opportunity. We've all got kids. You know, you look at your kids. I was playing Duck, Duck, Goose with my son yesterday and just thinking, how can I make his life easier? You know, what sort of planet am I going to leave? And just not eating a little bit less beef or not eating beef at all is not a massive thing. or sacrifice for me to make for his future.
But it could make a huge difference. Look, the big British beef battle is on Channel 4 tonight at 8 p.m. Ade, it's an interesting idea that you're suggesting. It sounds like you've had a lot of fun making it as well. I'll be
back with a megaphone. Yeah? Yeah. Me and a megaphone.